welcome. Welcome to our weekly live coaching on Wednesdays. My name is Asma Wasti, and um, I manage this group of um, Six Figure Ladder with job search hacks, hidden job market hacks, and I coach and teach regularly to all the participants in my private Facebook group. And this particular coaching is in reference to how we can um, increase our income and what is the difference now, and many folds. Usually I talk about six figures, but I just wrote 5 times more because it seems more achievable to people in their mindset, and I'm going to talk about that shortly. But how we can do that, and what is the difference between high achievers and non-achievers, so people that we see around us, people like Richard Branson and Elon Musk, and CEOs of large companies, of Microsoft and Bill Gates, and of Intel, of IT companies, non-IT companies, medical companies, HR, CEOs of IBM and all the banks, and you name it. How do we see in the middle management or higher up management, senior management, executives, right? I have had the pleasure to work with management and senior management quite consistently, closely, and working in performance coaching them in the banking industry sector. And I rose through the ranks from the first ladder all the way up, working with those group of people. And then I headed on to working and creating business and career accelerators and working on my own as well. So I have worked with a lot of people across the board in the gamut. So I can tell you from extensive experience of what is the fabric of the people that are high achievers and what is the fabric of those that are not. So if you're joining us live, please say hi down below, just so I can see that you are here with us. And if you are joining us later, because it will be published in recording, please say hi down below also. So let me tell you what is the difference between that set of people and the ones that are not so much are aspirational, right? People that are aspiring to be there, and those that are already there, right? So what's the difference between them? The biggest difference is that the belief system. Number one. So there's 5 to 6 differences that I will talk to you about today. And the number one difference is the belief system, that they believe in themselves. They can see themselves being in that position, being in that leadership position, leading those people to whatever the next vision, the next goal or target is. Right? And that's a huge difference. That's one of the top reasons. There are people who may desire to be in that position. There may be people that desire to be in that role, but have not put in, or are not going to put in, are not action takers, right? Put in the work that is needed to be there. Right? So I recently wrote an article and published on LinkedIn. I shared this in my group as well. But for those that are part of my LinkedIn or my Facebook group, you can go there and check it out. I talk about what I learned from Richard Branson. And this is one of my favorite quotes by Richard Branson that I founded my whole article around, was that say yes and learn later. And that is the mindset of overachievers and high achievers also. They say yes to it because they believe they can do it. And once they get into it, they learn the ropes as they go through it, and they modify that structure as well to their liking too. So if you cannot see yourself working as a vice president, president of a company, CEO of a company, senior management, leading a large team, growing a large team, taking them somewhere, wherever your vision, your goal is, if you can't see yourself, you may desire it, but when the rubber meets the road, you start sweating, then it means that you are not truly designed for it. Do not truly believe in your mindset that you belong there. Okay, that's where you need to be. And because of that, we don't put our effort and one step over the other. Now, remember, in front of the other, remember that we will never, never, there's no such thing as a job or a company that will suddenly come up with a job posting that is 110% accurate and on your skill set and provides you 200% increase in your salary. It never happens. It will never happen because that doesn't cut it. There are industry sectors, there are companies, and there's positions that work within those industry sectors, and then there's a bandwidth of that income. So you can certainly score additional $5,000 to $10,000 here and there, but that's not going to change a major factor. If you truly want to increase your income 5 times, 6 times more, or increase, go on to that scale onto that 6-figure ladder, then you need to get out of your comfort zone. Number one, believe in yourself, believe in the fact that you can see yourself working in the whatever the next role is, whatever that position is, or the ultimate role is, right? And you can work your way, strategize your way around it, to it. But if you cannot see yourself doing that, then you won't be able to get out of your comfort zone. And as soon as you stay in your comfort zone, it means you're not growing. You don't have a growth mindset, which tells us that that's the biggest difference between the action takers, the ones who are high achievers, who do get out of their comfort zone and land into roles of their dreams, increasing their income and their salary multifold, 5 times, 10 times, 6 times. I have done it. I jumped on from a position that usually it takes people 5 to 6 years, 7 years to scale to that next level. But because I could see myself, I worked my way through in inculcating my skill set so that I applied 4 times higher. People don't even apply to that job posting, right? Because they say, well, there's 5 more ladder rungs between us and them at that position, so I can't apply that because, again, that's called the imposter syndrome, that I would not be fit for the role because I don't have the expertise, I don't have the insight, I don't have the skill set, right? That's what the thinking is. Then that's what our limiting beliefs are, whether it's as a career job seeker or an entrepreneur, because I do entrepreneur coaching as well. So if that is the case, people will never apply. They don't. And the difference between when I did it was that I did apply. Of course, you have to strategize. So obviously, you're not going to apply to a position that 100 other people are applying for who are who are more qualified in so many different ways, but you will apply to a position that is available. It might not have that long a queue to reach there, right? But then once you say yes, you learn later and try and work on it to bridge the gap, right? And that's one of the differences between the high achievers who are action takers, who can see themselves in that positions and actually take action and apply. Okay? So try and apply. See if you can, you have the ability to customize. Again, no, there's no single resume that has to be standardized. Every resume needs to be customized. So you can customize it and then apply it for that position and see what happens next. Okay. You never know, and you never know what happens unless you do. And if you don't give them the chance to say no, you don't know if they're going to say no or yes. And that's the difference between the high achievers and the non-achievers, is that they don't wait for others to come to them. They go to that, whatever that goal, that target is, and they are okay to take that punch on their chin and take no for an answer, because that's part of the process. So they have the clarity of where they need to be and they want to be. They take ownership. They take ownership of their own destiny. They take ownership of their own doing. They take ownership and leadership of themselves, of their family, of their business, of their role, of their career. Because unless you do, you're not going to lead yourself into that next position and increase your salary by many, many, many folds. And you can, because nobody's going to come and offer you if you stay within the same sector, within the same bracket. You have to take that leap. Yes, there is room for falling down, and you will fall down. And so what? So what? Right? So with that fear, the achievers, the overachievers, high achievers, the people who are able to increase their incomes many times more, scale the ladder fast and quick, are the ones who do not lead by fear. They lead by optimism. They lead by faith and belief in themselves. They have a vision. They lead themselves into the next role that they feel that they're destined for. Now, what I want you to think is, are you one of those? Right? And what are the excuses that you're making? Because we all make excuses to ourselves, right? We all try to justify to be where we are today as to why we are here today. And I know I was one of them a long time ago, but I was one of them, which could be, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money, right? I cannot invest in myself, because if I need to make that leap, that there is gap in between, I need to bridge it. And when I need to bridge it, I need to invest in myself. I need to invest in my upskilling myself. I need to invest in in bridging that gap, hiring a coach, hiring a mentor, what makes it. And believe you in me that everyone and anyone that is in that bracket of high achievers has somebody coaching and guiding them in that process. And I will be talking about in future coaching sessions, mini coaching sessions that I do weekly here on Wednesdays. What does a good coach do, and who is a good coach? Okay, and why should you hire them? Simple as that. Not every single coach needs to be a stellar performer in their role before. Okay, so we will talk about that in another form, another type, but let's talk about what we're talking about now. So having the vision, leading your client to it, or leading yourself to achieve your goal, accountability, being accountable to what the goals that you have set. So for the difference between high achievers and non-achievers, or not there yet low achievers, is that they don't hold themselves accountable to that higher standard that they have set for themselves. If they have created a target for themselves and they're unable to achieve it in a few tries, they move the target. The low achievers, they move the target because they no longer feel that that's their target. Whereas high achievers perfect the process to go to the target. The target doesn't move. They're very clear on what the target is and why do we need to be there. And then they don't move the target, they move the process, they perfect the process in that learning until they achieve the target. And that's what brings them out of their comfort zone. They stay out of their comfort zone forever. Right? As an entrepreneur, I have to be out of my comfort zone on a daily basis. Otherwise, I don't achieve what I have set out to achieve for myself, my goals. Right? So, and that's the difference between high achievers. And you can be one. There's no, you can just assess yourself and then they also take calculated risks. Calculated risks are super important because yes, you are taking a risk, you're doing the research that comes with it, you get the answers, but at the end of the day, it's still a risk. Yet they put their money where their mouth is, they take those steps even with the fear of falling down, and that's okay with them because that comes with the leadership. No risk, you don't get any reward without the risk. No risk, no reward. So you have to take that leap of faith. You have to take that risk. and apply. So I dare you now, I have a challenge for you. Go ahead and look at the jobs of the future that you want to be in and see what is it that they demand and they ask for, right? And see if you have the skill set. And even if you don't, even if you fall 50 to 60% on that requirement, apply, customize your resume and apply for the job. And let me know in the comments what happens next. All right. Thank you very much. That was all for today. I will see you all again, and the recording of this video is available